yours here right now. The kind of night we dream about. Oh, 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 oh. It's beautiful. Yeah, time flies when you get it right, so hold on tight to me. Love like we never grew up, and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. One blink and it's over. Wake up and we're older tonight. We're kings and queens. Stop, take a breath, close your eyes, remember this. Oh, 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 it's beautiful. Love like we never grew up, and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. One blink and it's over. Wake up and we're older tonight. We're kings and queens. Time flies when you get it right, so hold on tight to me. Love like we never grew up, and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. One blink and it's over. Wake up and we're older tonight. We're kings and queens.
fever. Here comes a fever. Once you go, we gotta take it slow. Here comes a fever. Here comes a fever.
Hey, everybody. There we go. How's it going? Anyway, hey, we got the State of the Union on tonight. This is the live call-in preview show for the State of the Union address delivered by the one Honorable Donald J. Trump. And it's going to be a real exciting evening here, and looking forward to it. And I'm definitely looking forward to the State of the Union address. A lot of news to get to, and some of the issues we're going to be talking about. We can probably look at the Washington Times to see some of those issues. So why don't we get to it right now, and let's pull this down right here so I can be able to see this stuff. Okay, we're going to bring this in right now. Okay, and let's get me in here. Boom. All right, there I am. There's the Washington Times. Thank you to the shout out again to the Washington Times. Makes it very easy for YouTube creators to use their site by giving this e-newspaper and allowing you to adjust fonts. Everything else, it's quite wonderful. If you're not a subscriber to the Washington Times, please become one. It's not expensive. Great news. Anyway, to the news. Immigration, a big topic for tonight's discussion on the State of the Union. Study finds high rates of prison, jail for illegals. No surprise for anybody who's been following this story for some time now and not been in complete denial. So, let's see what they have to say. Let's just move myself up here real quick here. There we go. Yep. I don't want to cover the Washington Times. That's not good. I like that title. There we go. All right, much better. All right, so let's get to the story. Stephen Dinnan of the Washington Times. Nearly 3% of illegal immigrants in Arizona end up in state prison or jail during the course of a year. That's 4 times the rate of American citizens and legal residents, according to a study that uses federal reimbursements for prisons and jails to try to calculate one of the most important yet elusive statistics in the immigration debate. And the reason why it's elusive is that people try to hide this number. They're trying to hide it from us. So you have to go like through back channels and like do some kind of algebraic equation like, x equals, y times z, and y equals, z divided by x. One of those damn things to try to figure out exactly what the crime rate among illegal aliens are. I mean, the FBI collects crime statistics by race in this country, and they have no problem doing that. Again, they try to bury this number in the federal prison, the state prison system, local jurisdictions. They try not to collect it, but follow the money. Remember that Watergate? Follow the money. So when you follow the money, these states are getting reimbursement for housing and incarcerating illegal aliens, and somebody figured out, oh, there's a nice little line there in the budget for this. Let's see how much money they get divided by how much per inmate, and here are the numbers, and then compare that to the number of U.S. citizens, regardless of race. Doesn't matter. It's U.S. citizens, U.S. citizen, man. I don't care. Don't matter. So U.S. citizen versus illegal aliens. And, U.S. citizen includes Hispanics, African Americans, Caucasian Americans, European Americans, Jewish Americans, Muslim Americans, Christian Americans, Buddhist Americans, Hindu Americans, American Americans. I don't care. You're an American, you're an American. Anyway, so in Arizona, it's 4 times the rate of American citizens and legal residents. Okay, in New Jersey, you can scroll down here a little bit. New Jersey, illegal immigrants are incarcerated 5 times more often, and rates on the West Coast are triple that of legal residents and citizens, according to the study by the Federation for American Immigration Reform. And here we go. FAIR bases calculations on federal government reimbursements to states and localities under the State Criminal Alien Assistance Program, which pays some of the cost for holding illegal immigrants in prisons and jails. To make the payments, the federal government must determine whether an inmate is definitely or possibly in the country illegally. FAIR used the number to then calculate overall incarceration rates. The method is not without controversy. Ta-da! Here we go. One analyst dismissed the calculation, saying SCAP data, that's the whatever, data counts, are not comparable to other incarceration counts. But FAIR says the SCAP, and again, we have to go back to find what SCAP was again. State Criminal Alien Assistance Program, SCAAP. There we go. Let's see. One analyst dismissed the calculation, saying SCAP data counts are not comparable to other incarceration counts. But FAIR says the SCAP numbers are the best calculations because they focus on those known to be arrested on criminal charges and whom federal officials have concluded are in the country illegally. Trust the feds have no interest in saying that because they got to write a check. So, you know, the states are like, give us money. These people are illegal. They're the ones saying it. Look, this guy's illegal. We need money. The feds are like, oh, wait a minute now. Just because this guy's name is Jose doesn't mean he's illegal. And they say, oh, no, he's illegal. So now the fed's like, oh, no, you don't. No, we're going to check this guy out. So they check him out to make sure he actually is illegal. And I'm sure the states list a few guys named Jose that are not illegal just to get some extra cash. And the feds come in and say no. So if anything, the number is lower than maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But the feds are making sure they're not writing a check for anybody that's actually here legally because then you don't get any assistance. Tough, you know. So this is going to be a pretty accurate number. In the 10 states FAIR selected, they determined that illegal immigrants ended up behind bars at the higher rates per capita. This study should put to rest once and for all, yes, once and for all, the notion that illegal aliens commit crimes at a lower rate than legal residents. I never bought that BS anyway. I mean, you know, saying, oh, illegals come over here, they don't commit crimes. Look, I agree. Legal immigrants, regardless of the country, from Mexico, from Guatemala, from Honduras, we all know plenty of people here legally from those countries. We work with them. We live amongst them. Well, at least, you know, if you live in the western part of the United States, like I do in Nevada, yeah, they're great people, hardworking people. They're coming here to live the American dream. In fact, probably they're committing less crime because they came over here through the legal process, going through the assimilation process, educated, had to take a civics class, which we don't require of our own high school students here in this country, know more about the Constitution and the history of the country, and learn to appreciate the history of this country and how great it is. And they're coming here legally because they want to live the American dream. They're not coming here to live the Mexican dream or the Guatemalan dream or the Honduran dream. They're coming to live the American dream. That's why they're here. You know, that's why they want to come here for. So, you know, but illegally, if you're jumping the wall, you're starting off saying, I don't respect this country. I have contempt for this country. And this country owes me something. It owes me the right to jump the fence and be here and stay here and to steal somebody else's ID, to use that ID, you know, because they have to get a Social Security card to be able to work. You know, the Trump family just got bit by this. You know, everybody's making fun of him, like, oh, you got bit by this. It's like, no, actually, thanks for making our argument for us. You're by saying, hey, look, these people got even past the Trump family and got hired illegally and were caught by ICE or somebody. And the Trump family's like, oh, I guess we should use E-Verify. Yes, you should use E-Verify. It should be mandatory requirement that everybody uses E-Verify because that would cut down on illegal immigration. Because if the only people who get hired are people who hold green cards, I know plenty of green card holders, plenty of them. You know, they're fine. I mean, that's what green cards are for, to come here until you get your citizenship. You're going through the citizenship process. You're working. You need a green card to get a job. Hey, if you're getting a green card, you're getting a green card to get a job. I mean, that's the whole point. So, yeah, great, fantastic. So, you know, but, you know, if you come through here legally, then, you know, you want to work. You want to get a job. You want to live the American dream. You want your kids to get good education. You want to start a small business. I mean, God, we all know plenty of Hispanics who own small businesses. Again, the American dream. Yay. I mean, keep going. But illegal aliens who come over here have no respect for law, immediately are breaking the law as soon as they step foot on this country. Different story. Could be next door neighbors to the guy from Honduras or from Guatemala or from Mexico. The guy coming over, I mean, we all have neighbors. We have good neighbors, and we have bad neighbors. We have neighbors down the street that we like this person, And we have neighbors down the street. Well, that person is an idiot. We don't like him. He's a loser. He's a thief. His whole family are thieves. Okay, same thing in Mexico. You can have one person living there in a house, and it's like, I'm going to go to the United States legally. It's a beautiful country. I want to be here. I want to work there. I want to have my kids raised there. I want to, have my kids get educated there. I want to start a small business when I get there. I want to become an entrepreneur. I can't do that in Mexico. And then his next door neighbor is some asshole. He says, "Oh, F that. I'm just going to go jump the fence." The hell with them. And they owe us because, the War of 1830, whatever, and they took our land. And we're going to go get it back. And we're going to jump the fence, and we hate you. It's like, well, no, we don't want them in here. They're not going to be productive. And they're going to end up probably getting into crime or actually at 4 or 5, 3 times the rate of legal citizens. And again, that legal citizenship counts Hispanic legal citizens, legal residents, green card holders. Okay? It's just because you're Hispanic doesn't mean you're the same. If you're a legal immigrant, green card holder, came here legally, going through, the green card process and the citizenship process, you're the same as your fellow Mexican who maybe is an asshole. Again, I know plenty of people who are my neighbors. Some are nice, some are assholes. Same thing. So again, we're not talking about if you're from Mexico or Honduras. We're talking about if you're willing to go through the process, put the work in, and become a legal citizen. And that's the important part. Let me just check on something. Hey, check the chat room here. What do we got here? We got None Your Business, Voltron. Hey, Mr. Voltron. Amy, hey, how you doing? And see, it looks like Nunya. So, hey, guys, thanks for joining the chat. And happy to have you guys aboard for our little pre-Trump State of the Union preview show. And talking about news and talking about something right now, illegal immigration and the crime statistics in the Washington Times. I want illegal immigration. I want legal immigration to be cut in half, if not stopped, for 10 more years until further studies can be done to see how immigration will change this country. Basically, what should be done is, and I don't think it's ever been done, Voltron, is hey, what should be done is, okay, we got to take a look. Okay, how many jobs are out there to be filled? What kind of jobs do we need to be filled? We got, artificial intelligence taking over a lot of lower skilled jobs that don't require an education. Now, generally, legal immigrant. Generally, a legal immigrant is coming over here. They have to pass certain tests, certain written tests. They have to learn English. They got to take a citizenship. They got to take a citizenship test, which I'll tell you right now, the average 12th grade high school student could not pass. I could have when I was in high school. Probably a lot of you in this chat room could have passed because we took things like social studies and civics, in high school, and hell, we took it in elementary school and we took it in junior high. So, it's a little bit different. So we figure out, okay, how many people do we need in here? What kind of jobs do we have? This math can be done. And say the numbers like Tucker Carlson was saying the same thing. Just give me the number. Tell me how many people we need coming in every year. And then we'll tailor the immigration number to how many, exactly, the HB, what do they call it, HB1 visas, or I always mix that up. But, the special skills visas. Say, okay, we need these many people to fill these kind of jobs. This level of education, these kind of jobs, we don't need any education. This kind of job, we need high school, and come up with a number and say, that's it. Tucker said, I don't care if it's 2 million. Just give us a number. Then we say, after that number, nobody else. Then we really clamp down on illegal immigration, clamp down on the border, build a border wall, stop everybody else from coming in. So then it's a win-win for everybody. We know we have an exact number. Everybody says, yeah, that's a number. And that works. We all kind of agree on it. We negotiate the number a little bit. We generally agree, though, get a consensus, and say, okay, they're coming in. They're allowed. And that's it. But after that, though, we say, no, you can't just jump the fence because we've already got the number. Okay, and that's it. Let's see. Voltron says mass immigration has to be supported by the people. This fly by the night flyboy night politicians should not be able to change the country to this extent. Yeah, in other words, there needs to be a system in place. We have systems in place for everything. Immigration needs to be, there has to be some kind of a system and a process, and it has to be. That's okay. No big deal, man. But hey, I can make it out. I got it. Hey. But no, I know exactly what you're saying. In other words, look, we have processes in place for everything. Like for a budget, we have a process for this. We have a process for this. the feds are great at making up processes. There are whole people make a ton of money just coming up with. Look at the Pentagon. That's a process and a half, but there's still some process going on. So again, we just instead of every 4 years somebody gets a bug up their ass and they say, "Oh, let's change the policy." Well, no, because the policy for 4 years previous, was based on certain assumptions, and if you go changing the policy every willy nilly, then you screw up the assumptions from the last 4 years, and it makes a big mess, and you get what we got now. Dump. But anyway, so I agree. There needs to be something put in place. But hey, Mr. Voltron, if you do want to call in, you got the number right there, 775-273-8970. If you're man enough to call in. I'm assuming you're a man. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyway, I don't know. Voltron. I'm assuming Voltron, that's a man's name. Could be a woman, I guess, but I'm assuming Voltron's a man. I don't know. That's the thing about YouTube and, the internet. You don't know who's who. But yeah, if you want to call in, that's fine. There's a call-in number right there. If you want to appear on a video link, if you want to appear in a video link, you send me an email. Put in the chat room that I'm a they. There you go. They be. They be. That's right. These parents go around calling their kids they bees. I know, crazy. But yeah, and send me if anybody wants to appear in a video link. Just send me an email. Tell me in the chat. You send me an email. I'll send you a link. You type in your username, hit join call. You're on for millions of people around the world watching our live preview show. So, but hey, let's get back to this story and take a look here. Let's go ahead and finish this one up. Let's see. Anyway, they were saying this study should put to rest once and for all the notion that illegal aliens commit crimes at a lower rate than legal residents, FAIR President Dan Stein said. By focusing on states with significant illegal alien populations, and they consistently report to SCAP, again, to get the money, FAIR study refutes the erroneous claim illegal immigration and its nexus to crime, long a controversial subject, has gained even more importance in recent weeks as President Trump has pushed for stiffer border security, including a border wall. Yay, go wall! That he says would bring crime down in half in our country. Well, I don't know if we're bringing it down in half, but it sure shit won't hurt. That's the whole point. Is this going to hurt? No. It's going to help. Yes. It's like, oh, it sends the wrong message. Yes, it sends the message. If you want to come into this country, you have to go knock on the door and then be let in. Okay, just like anywhere else. If I don't have a reservation, at a restaurant, and I just show up, I say, hey, I don't have a reservation. Can you seat me? They might say, well, you might have to wait a few minutes. I'll say, well, okay. Now, if I don't want to wait, then I leave. But it's their restaurant. If I don't have a reservation to get in to have a seat, then should I get in? There are people sitting there waiting for their reservation time to come up. They got there a little bit early, maybe, and they've been sitting patiently. They did the right thing. They called ahead. They made a reservation. They showed up on time, and they're waiting for their reservation to be called. And then I show up and take their table. No, that ain't right. Just like same thing here. And then FAIR, which advocates for a crackdown on illegal immigration, doesn't quite answer that. Hold on. Including a border wall that he says would bring crime down in half in our country. FAIR, which advocates for a crackdown on illegal immigration, doesn't quite answer that question, but it does attempt to get at the overall rates of criminal behavior of people whom the government has confirmed are in the country illegally. Yeah, even FAIR is like, well, we're not sure we can say it's going to cut down crime in half, but, it's not going to hurt. Are in the country illegally, and then to compare that to the rate of criminality by the rest of the population. The group, this is how they did it. The group took a snapshot of the prison population in a state using data from the Prison Policy Initiative, then subtracted the number of illegal immigrants the federal government paid to incarcerate in a year. Again, the states are asking for the money. That provided numbers for both an illegal immigrant prison population and everyone else. FAIR then compared those with estimates for the overall residential numbers for each state. Yeah, right. Basically, what's the population of the state? For Arizona, analysts used 10,300 confirmed or suspected illegal immigrants for which the federal government reimbursed the state and counties in 2016. They subtracted that from an overall prison and jail population to get a non-legal immigrant population of 46,700. Each of those numbers was stacked up against blah, 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 blah. Okay, we're not going to go into all the math. Okay. Let's get to this point. This means 1 out of every 35 illegal immigrants in Arizona was in state prison or jail in 2016, which was the highest rate of any of the states they studied. They did the same calculation for 9 other states. The gap was the biggest in New Jersey with an illegal immigration rate 440% higher, followed by Arizona, Oregon, Washington, California in the top 5. New York, this is good news for me. New York and Nevada came next. Well, I don't like hearing that. I'm in Nevada. Geez, with rates at least 160% higher, followed by Florida, Texas, New Mexico with the smallest gap, even though illegal immigrants were 42% more likely to be in prison or jail than the citizen and legal resident population. All right, so that's interesting. So there you go. Bring me back. Hey, there I am. So I mean, Trump's. I mean, that's what Trump's talking about. It's like, look, we got to put a stop to this. No other president really wanted to tackle it. Well, George W. Bush was going to tackle it in '04, but it wasn't the best of deals. But it was going to get something done. But I'm not sure how good of a deal it was going to be on border security. The problem is, you make a deal like this, you don't want to get what happened to Reagan. Like you say, okay, hey, let's do this. Let's get some people legalized so they're not in the shadows. And let's do border security so we don't let more people in. If you're just going to let the people here right now legally and then not do anything on border security, then more people are going to come in. Then I guess 10 years from now you do the same thing. Well, that's pretty much the same as having an open border. It's just a 10-year delay. I mean, big deal. I mean, who cares? I mean, it's not. It doesn't really change the nexus too much. It's having open borders without really having open borders. Let's see. The ones that arrived at the border in Texas today said they won't wait. They're coming. Oh, yeah, Amy. So, yeah, I didn't see that story. So, are these from that new caravan that showed up? Is that what's going on? So, they won't wait. They're coming. It's like, we deserve to be here. Let us in because reasons. We're entitled because reasons. It's like, yeah, okay, but I mean, I'm still having a hard time finding out what the problem with the concept is. It's like we have a country, and we have ways to come into this country. And if you want to be an American citizen, it's definitely a privilege. It's not a right. Now, see, here's the problem with the left. The left thinks, okay, Amy, gotcha. The left thinks it is a right that there should be no borders anywhere in the world. Hey, the great douchebag. No, I think Axe is doing a show after the State of the Union. He's going to do one after Shirley does her response, the Democratic response. It's like, they picked the person who lost. Okay, whatever. I mean, I'm sure they have reasons. There we go. I'm sure they have reasons for that. I mean, they could have, I don't know, they could have found somebody. I don't know. I guess Dems are still going for the, they want to solidify the black woman vote. They know they're losing the black male vote. They know they're losing it. It's Roland Martin admitted on his radio show. He came out. The Boston Globe had an article about that, yelling and screaming at black men for voting Republican. I mean, it's happening. This is like in real time. We're watching this right now, by the way. I mean, this is actually going on. I mean, there are people, not just the black conservatives and the young, like people who make up who go to the Young Black Leadership Summits. Anthony Bryan Logan, Leo Dunson, Brandon Tatum. Not just those guys, but people who are like maybe in the Black First community. Maybe people who are in the Black Conscious community who like what Trump is doing. Hey, Jennifer, how you doing? On the road, when they say, "Oh, okay, well, don't be texting too much while you're driving, Jennifer. We don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you in a car accident." Although you could, what? If you get like pulled over, just tell the cops, "Hey, I'm listening to Carl's opinion," and they'll say, "Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, we'll back off. We'll back up. Don't worry. Okay, Miss Glenn, you can go on your way. We're sorry. We got it on here too. Yeah, we understand because I'm sure they're listening too." But Amy, yeah, 51 buses and 1,800 people, mostly men, and a lot of them are sick. Oh, great. Good. This is what we need. Sick people. We have sick people. We don't need any more sick people in this country. We got a lot of sick people in this country. People are sick. Our healthcare system's overloaded. And, like, why bring in more sick people? Like, give us you're sick and you're old and you're dying, and so we can take care of them. Carlo, hey, Voltron, what do you mean, Carlo? Everybody knows Carl's opinion. Are you kidding? I'm famous everywhere. But that's Voltron, I swear, man. That ain't nice. but oh, too good. Hold on, I'm gonna light a cigarette. All right, so hey, let's get to the next story here, and let's see. Let's see, bring it up just a little bit. There you go. All right, we cut over there, and then it's cut me over here. There we go. White House. Trump will ask for an end to Democratic resistance. Good luck. But anyway, let's see what the White House put out to the press today. Okay, by Dave Boyer and Tom Howell Jr. of, you know it, the Washington Times. Yay. Okay. President Trump will call on Democrats in a State of the Union address Tuesday night to end their resistance and work together. But it is precisely Mr. Trump's backing on virtually any issue that has served as a poison pill for Democrats. Senior aides say the president will urge lawmakers in his primetime speech to approve a major infrastructure initiative. Well, no, hey, wow, yes. Well, damn, they always push for that. I don't know why they shouldn't get behind this one. I mean, I wonder how much money it's going to be. It needs to be at least, to be effective, I don't want to say $1 trillion, but it needs to be at least $1 trillion. Sorry. If it's not $1 trillion, it doesn't mean anything. Okay? So that's a lot of money, and everybody's going, no, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it is a lot of money. Oh, did I miss a call? I might have missed, I did miss a call. 401, oh, okay. Let me see. Call it back here. Hello, 415. You're on with Carl's Opinion. Yeah, who's this? Yeah, who's this? Okay, wait. Who is this? Who is this? What's your name? Oh, very good, Nathan. What do you got? So, yeah, I'm a criminal defense attorney, and what you read an article on
Yep.
something? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. So, quick question. So, there's these websites, where you take a swab of your DNA and you send it in, and they do a genealogy analysis and so on and so forth.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I think I had to turn down there for a sec. Okay, so your question was that when you get sentenced as a felon, yeah, you have to submit to a DNA test. Is that your concern when you get after you've been convicted post sentencing and you have to submit?
No.
Oh, okay,
No.
what's your
So
concern?
there's these websites, or there's like these sites where you can take a cheek swab voluntarily as a consumer and send you a sample in, right?
Right.
And then they analyze your DNA and they tell you, like, here's your ethnic background and so on and so forth. So it came to light, I just read this article, I think it was earlier in the week, that this company had like kind of quietly updated their privacy policies and basically just let the FBI or whoever come in and have kind of unfettered access to all the records. So while you initially may have taken this swab, not expecting that, like now, guess what? They've got your stuff. So I was just curious, like from a criminal, defense perspective, is that legitimate? I mean, can that actually be used, do you think, in a court case? Is that going to cause problems for them? Or is it just like, oh, too bad, we got your stuff? That's
Well,
how it is.
here's the thing. Okay, like that's like a Fourth Amendment issue. So it's like if you put your trash can out on the curb, do you have an expectation
Ah,
of privacy? The answer is no, you don't. Okay, so the cops come by and they see your trash can, they pop it open, they start going through it. Tough luck. I think it's called like the curtilage, like that area. You don't have an expectation of privacy when you put your trash
yeah.
can out there. Same thing. If you go to a private DNA company, now, if now you don't really, you should have the contract should say what they can and cannot do with it, and whether or not somebody has to get a subpoena. It's kind of like an iPhone. Like like they won't give over your information on your iPhone without a subpoena and then a court order and stuff like that. So that's pursuant to a contract you have with Apple. when you signed up on the user thing that nobody
Mhm.
reads. But Apple says we will protect your privacy. We're not giving it up. Now, if you go to a DNA testing site, and like you said, they updated their privacy terms where they say, okay, we can give this over to anybody. And a lot of times you'll see that, like even when you sign up for a website or something, they'll say we can share your information with anybody and everybody anytime we want. And if you don't agree to it, you don't get to use the website. Same thing. A lot of people, when they go into the DNA testing thing, there might be something that says, well, we can give this to anybody. And then you sign your name to it. And then
Got
the
it.
feds come in and say, hey, we want this. And you say, oh, here you go. And then you say, hey, man, what'd you do? And then, yeah, so there's no violation of the Fourth Amendment. So would it be admissible? In my opinion, here we go. This is the attorney talk. Probably yes.
Gotcha.
Probably yes.
Basically, like, the Fourth Amendment, you handed it up, and what happens after that is sort of what happens.
Well, yeah. In other words, the whole thing comes down to expectation of privacy. So, like again,
Mhm.
when I signed my contract with Apple, and they say, hey, we're not giving your stuff up for anybody for any reason, then you have an expectation of privacy. If you sign a contract
Gotcha.
with a private company now, and again, people say the big argument on like leaving your trash can out there is that, well, I have an expectation the cops won't come and go through my trash because I'm leaving it out for the trash man, not for the cops. And every Supreme Court said, tough shit. It's like if you leave it out there, if you leave it out there, even though you're designating it just for the trash company to pick up, sorry, you're leaving it out. The cops can go through it too. They don't need a search warrant. They go through the trash
Got it.
can and pull anything out they want out of it, and all of that is admissible because you left it out there. So same thing with DNA.
Gotcha.
Well, hey,
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, Nathan. Thanks for calling in. All right,
All
bye-bye.
right, man. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. And that was Nathan calling in with a legal question, which I love answering, by the way. So if you have any legal questions, please feel free to call, because one thing attorneys like to do is we like to tell war stories, and we like to act like we know something. That's why a lot of attorneys become professors. And it's really nice when somebody asks you a question because you love to expand on it. A lot of times, that's what, if you're a smart young attorney, hang out with some older attorneys. And trust me, you can learn. When I was a young attorney, I used to hang out with older guys and just ask them, well, what do you think? You know a lot. And it's like, oh, here come the floodgates of information. It's like, I mean, guys who were on the same case with you that you were going against. But, like, they just wanted to tell you, like, what they knew, and they wanted to help you out. They didn't realize they were actually helping you out to help you against them in the same case. And then you use kind of what they just told you against them, like, a week later. They're like, hey, where'd you learn that from? It's like, you told me last week. Oh, shit, So I kind of fall victim to that, too. I had a guy take me out to lunch once after I just beat him on a custody case, and he goes, oh, can I take you out for lunch? And, and he started picking my brain, and, well, I let him. So then, of course, I saw him a few months later on another case, and I realized, oh, no. But it reminds me of that story about the, the karate master and the young karate student who was coming up, and the young kid, he's getting kind of cocky, and he wants to take on the head of the dojo, or whatever the hell you call it. He wants to take him on, and he's like, so he challenges him to a fight, and so they do this fight, and he goes, karate master, you're old, I'm young, I'm gonna beat you. And karate master just looks at him and just kind of grins, and sure enough, they start fighting, and then boom, 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 within like 3 moves, karate master, beats the young karate guy, and the young karate guy goes, how did you do that, karate master? He goes, you taught me everything you know. And the karate master looks at him and he goes, no, young son, young man, I didn't teach you everything I know. I taught you everything you know. Da-da-da! Karate master story. Yes. Anyway, lesson learned. Anyway, let's see. So here we go. Let's see. Google. Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to the story at hand. So this is, again, talking about President Trump, what's going on tonight at the State of the Union. So senior aides say the president will urge lawmakers in his primetime speech to approve a major infrastructure initiative, a subject that historically receives bipartisan support. Yes, please. Anyway, it's, look, we got a lot of roads that suck. Our airports suck. Especially if you're back east, they suck. We got a lot of bridges that suck. I mean, something has to get done. I mean, you got to spend some money on this. Now, here's the biggest problem. Okay, you got 50 senators, 435 congressmen, Congress people. Sorry, and they all want to bring something back to their district, right? Well, especially like not 50 senators. What did I say? I'm sorry, 100 senators, 50 states. You're like, no, man, you're an idiot. But anyway, so you got 100 senators, okay, 50 states, right? It'd be a little bit easier in the Senate because everybody kind of agree what states needs more money and what state needs less money. But you have 435 districts, and so each of these guys in these districts want some cash. Well, not every district needs there's not like a bridge falling down in every district, and maybe there's a bridge that doesn't get used that much, like in one of those movies, like the old wooden bridge, but everybody's going to want something for their individual district. And so even if it's $1 trillion, if it's being so dissipated over 435 districts, it's not going to do much. It's not going to create a lot of jobs. It'll create a lot of jobs, but not as many as if you kind of focus on some big projects, And then, of course, people are going to bitch because, California's probably going to get a lot. New York, Texas, Florida. I mean, the states are already going to, grab a lion's share of this. Ohio. And then, of course, you got to think politics. Okay, like, where does the president want to win in 2020? Well, okay, so here comes North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. Boom. And then, who else gets money? Well, the Democrats are going to let them get away with that, especially Democrats and Republicans, actually. That's the funny part. Republicans who are not in those states, don't represent people in those states. They're like, no way, man. Yeah, I know you want to win 2020, but no, we want some of this cash too, and you got to spread the wealth. So, but anyway, so we'll see what he does on that. But yeah, I mean, rebuilding roads, highway, bridges, it has to get done. It's going to have to get done sooner or later. These things are falling apart. We can't look like shit. It's bad. It's bad for commerce. And what happens is, if the roads are crappy and you get a lot of potholes and bridges and a lot of traffic because of that, that slows down the speed of commerce, increases the cost of commerce. If the trucks keep getting damaged and need new tires, need new brakes, need new axles, it costs more to ship goods and materials. That generally the company has to pass it on to the consumer, raise the price of goods. So it's not a bad investment. Another good thing is generally government projects are prevailing wage jobs, meaning that they're really good paying jobs. Generally, unions in that area set a prevailing wage job. They don't have to be union contractors. They just have to pay the prevailing wage, which again is pretty much what's defined by the union for like a journeyman wage. And then of course you can downscale it for apprenticeships. Most trades have like either a 7 or a 9. If you will, separate period apprenticeships, which last anywhere 3 months per period. So you get potentially 3 years, 2 year, kind of electricians, carpenters, let's see, plumbers, iron workers, stuff like that. So I mean, it'll be good paying jobs, good middle class jobs. It'll help with commerce, make commerce faster, cheaper, et cetera, that kind of stuff. All right. So anyway, historically receives bipartisan support, but here we go. When Mr. Trump broached a plan late last year to rebuild the nation's roads, bridges, and other public works, Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer, New York Democrat, warned that any proposal would need to address climate change. Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't see that coming. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. We need to address climate change, a certain non-starter for the president. Yes, we're trying to create jobs, trying to rebuild the country, and somehow Schumer thinks, oh, here's a good time to introduce issues on climate change. Yes, when we're trying to put American families back to work, no, we got to take care of climate change. Yeah, I dealt with this whole climate change thing here at my house when what used to cost between $2,000 and $2,500 to replace an air conditioner because you only had to replace the outside unit because that's generally the only one that went out. Now, since 2016, President Obama put a new regulation making it some kind of new type of air conditioner to save the environment. So now the pressure from the outside unit is so intense, it blows out the inside unit. So when you replace the outside unit for like $2,000, $2,500, you have to replace the inside unit too, which guess what? Costs another $6,000 to $6,500. So a $2,000 to $2,500 job, which you could always find if you had to, beg, borrow, not steal, or steal, don't steal. To get that much money together, now you got to put $8,900 together. A friend of mine actually had to do that. $8,900, lowest quote. And living in Nevada, where it gets hot all the time in the summer, from April all the way through like October, you know, yeah, it's hot, and you got to run the AC all the time. So they go out. So now a $2,500, let's just say $2,200 job now costs $8,700. Thank you. So that's how I get to save as a, depending on the economy, working class or middle class person, depending on how the economy is doing. That's how I get to contribute to saving the world, saving the environment. Is by me having to spend that kind of money. So of course Schumer's like, well, yeah, we can put these families back to work, and I'm sure that family over there that's renting this house in a really bad neighborhood, they'd like to move into a better house, but no, this family we got to put on their shoulders climate change. What an asshole! Jesus, I mean, how long? Doesn't he remember? I mean, I'm sure when he was a kid, his parents were coming up, and they were struggling, and they were maybe somebody in his family was out of work or something, and it was really tough on him. Doesn't he remember that? I don't understand what this with Don't put the burden on us. With this whole climate change bullshit. It's like we got to take care of this shit. No, we don't. Okay, and if you look at the models, there's only one good model out there, and it totally contradicts all the other dumb models. According to Al Gore, remember it was overnight now. I mean, the ice caps would be melted, Florida was underwater by this time, right this year. He said this back in '01. By now, we'd all be on. Florida's underwater, the Gulf states. I mean, Mississippi and Texas, parts of Galveston's gone. Water rose, L.A. Forget that, they're gone. Santa Monica, you're in the ocean. Nevada's got beachfront property. I mean, this is supposed to happen like right now, like maybe next year. Well, it's not going to happen because it was bullshit then. It's bullshit now. So now it's like, oh no, we meant 20 years from now or 12 years from now. Well, good for you. Well, it's not going to happen 12 years from now or 20 years from now. So anyway, but I can't believe that. So the president also will renew his call for funding a border barrier, another issue that many Democrats have supported in the past. True, all of them. Let's try. All of them have supported it in the past. Everybody up there right now has supported this in the past. But when Mr. Trump insisted on money for a border wall as part of an end-of-year budget deal in December, Democrats refused, leading to the longest government shutdown in history. Guests include what's that? The impasse even delayed the State of the Union speech. Mr. Trump and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, California Democrat fought over a precedent. Fought over the precedent of a president delivering the annual address while part of the government was closed. The president has said there is a good chance he will declare a state of emergency over the southern border Tuesday night because Democrats refused to allocate money for a wall in negotiations to fund 9 federal agencies by February 15th. February 15th, just right around the corner, just 10 days from now. All right. Now, we talked about this national emergency thing the other night. I brought up the statute on it, the 2 different statutes. Amy was talking about Title 10 as far as for drug interdiction as well. Yeah, I mean, he can declare it. Congress had nothing to say about him declaring it. I mean, and the courts, based on my reading of the statute, the courts, there's no question for the courts to decide as to whether or not it's a valid state of emergency declaration or not. That's not for the courts to decide. I mean, if there's a part of the statute that says, only if there's a valid national emergency, because then somebody has to decide what's a valid or non-valid emergency, and potentially that would either be Congress or the courts. But nowhere in those statutes does it say anything about Congress or the courts or somebody else gets to decide the president's declaration of a national emergency is valid or not. Nothing. There's nothing in the statute. I looked at it. That law school professor from University, was it now? It was Chapman University Law School, and I forgot the name of Chapman Law School at the University of, can't remember. Sorry. No, I mean, don't go sign up for the University of can't remember, okay? There is no such, well, there might be a University of I can't remember, but it's probably not a good place to go. But anyway, it's Chapman Law School at the University of something. I don't know what. But anyway, that professor there went through this in pretty good detail. Tucker had him on not Tucker, somebody on Fox, Brett Baer, I think, had him on, but only for a few minutes. And but he wrote a really extensive article on it, which I pulled up from after the interview. I pulled up the article, read that, went through the law, printed up the law, and posted it up there. So let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. I don't want to lose. If I lose everybody, I'm sorry. Well, let's see. Hopefully, I don't lose everybody. Let's see. All right, so let's see. I don't want to lose. Let's see here. Add input. Bump. Now here's the. Let me take down my number. I'll put it up someplace else here. Hold on. Let me get this out of here. All right, and put the number up. We can find it. What I do with it? I think it's it here. Boom. There we are. All right, this is a statute I pulled up the other night, and it says by the appropriate official of a state, local. This is Amy was talking about this statute here. This is for drug interdiction to support for counter drug activities and activities to counter transnational organized crime, which are the drug cartels. And this talks about how under 10 U.S.C. 284, I wrote 1084 down there. Sorry, 10 U.S.C. 284. You can, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of State, can, through the DEA, there's a lot of other stuff, can actually bring in assets for the construction of roads and fences and installation of lighting to block drug smuggling corridors across the United States. Let me see, across international borders of the United States. There we go. Boom. So that's a really good statute. And then the other one, let's see here. All right, let's find the other statute here. And boom, 33 U.S.C. And get your back. There we go. 33 U.S.C. 2293. This is actually National Emergency Declaration Statute. This is specifically the one. And it talks about the termination of affirmative civil works projects in the event of a declaration of war, a declaration by the President of a national emergency. Secretary may terminate or defer construction, operation, maintenance, or repair of any Department of the Army civil works projects that he deems not essential to the national defense and apply the we got another Mr. Douchebag calling in. Hey, Mr. Douchebag, how you doing?
Hey, Carl, the great douchebag is in the house. What's going on?
Not much, not much.
I didn't know you were doing a live show tonight.
Oh yeah. I just
no, but it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
How's shout out to Jennifer Glenn, Amy D, Nunya, Lilo if he's there. I haven't seen Lilo in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen Lilo. You know what? I haven't seen Lilo in a while either. I'm kind of worried about him.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's all good. I know he and no chat is the same without Lilo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in 3 days or something. So yeah, I was kind of curious about him myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, today topic State of the Union? I was just curious.
Well,
I kind of looked at the.
Yeah, basically we're talking about because the State of the Union is getting ready to go on here in about 40 minutes. So yeah, we're talking about the State of the Union, but it's I always do open topic. You know what? I forgot to put that. I forgot to put that in the description when I was setting this up. I said, "Damn, there was something I wanted to put in the description," and what I wanted to put in the description was open topic, whatever you want to talk about, and I forgot to put that in this time. Next time I will do that. So yeah, open topic, whatever you want to talk about, go for it, man. You got it.
Yeah. You know, one thing I want to say, and I'm just hoping that.
Oh wait, hold on,
That,
hold on.
oh, sorry.
I gotta give a shout out to. I thought I saw somebody. Oh yeah, Laura Sanders. Hey, shout out Laura. Just want to give a shout out to Laura. I've given a shout out to everybody else so far. I just want to make sure I
Cool.
grab Laura Sanders there. Very good. All right, so yeah, go ahead, Mr. Douchebag.
No, what I was going to say was like, and you know, and I'm hoping tonight that because the State of the Union is like one of the most televised events in all of news broadcasts. I mean, more ratings than any, you know, than any news show out there. You know what I mean? And one thing that I hope and pray is that these progressives and liberals listen to Trump with an open mind and listen to what he talks about and how he, you know, says things. You know, because it seems like there's this, and it's interesting because I've talked to some people who used to be like Bernie Sanders supporters, and they were like, you know, looking at some of the things Trump is doing. He's actually, you know, in with the economy and helping to raise the wages through providing low taxes to corporations so they can afford to pay their employees more, you know.
Yeah.
They're actually kind of seeing that Trump is actually meeting their needs more than the Democrats are, you know.
You know, I've talked to a lot of former Bernie supporters. Hell, Axe, the guy we all watch, Axe is a former Bernie supporter.
Yes.
You know, and he says the same thing.
So is H.A. Goodman.
Oh, I didn't know that about H.A. Goodman. I did not know that.
Yeah, no, he claimed he was a former Bernie Sanders supporter.
Okay.
And he actually, you know, it's funny because I was watching his show during the primaries, or not the primaries, I'm sorry, but during the whole midterms, and he kept saying that the Democrat or the Republicans are going to keep control of the House and Senate, but obviously he was wrong about the House, but you know he had very good, accurate knowledge. You know, in fact, he's better to me he's a better pundit than some of these other. You know, like what is it, 538, and I don't pay attention to 538 much. I mean, I don't know much about him to say, but I've heard, you know, I've seen reviews on them and how good they are at predicting polls and yada yada. But you know, they don't really. They're always going to be left leaning. You know, they're always going to be left leaning. But anyway, what people don't understand when H.A. Goodman was making those predictions about the Republicans keeping the House was it was based on legal voting, not illegal voting, you know. And a lot of people don't understand, too, that because, you know, if we didn't have the walk away, there's also another one I think called Walk, Don't Run.
Oh, really? Yep. Still there? Mr. Douchebag, did you click yourself off? Well, we lost Mr. Douchebag.
Carl?
Yeah.
Carl?
Yeah, okay, there you are.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened. Yeah, my phone is retarded. I don't know what's wrong with it. My phone is being a bigger douchebag than I was today. You know what I mean?
There you go. The payback of the phone. The phone is paying you back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, you know, I don't know if they have, I don't think it was started by Brandon Strzok. I don't know much about him. I've seen him on YouTube, but, it's like Walk or Run, Don't Walk or something like that. But I don't really see a lot of the videos. I don't know if YouTube, you know, demonetizes their videos or what, but every once in a while they'll release a video that counters that.
Yeah, that whole narrative that, you know, well, in other words, run, don't walk. That's the same thing as the walkaway, but they say, hey, it's even more urgent. Like you run away from these people like fast. Well, no. I mean, you saw what Facebook and Twitter did to the walkaway movement. I mean, when it first popped up, it was trending when it was like low numbers, and then the numbers got bigger, and then like Twitter says, "Oh, it's not trending." Like bullshit, it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, of course it was trending. They just didn't want it. They just didn't want it on their trending list because they didn't want people going, "Oh, what's this?" And you go, "Oh, well, look at these." And then of course they try to shoot it down, saying, "Oh, these are Russian bots." Because remember at first. They weren't doing video testimonials. They were just putting out tweets. And they said, oh, these are Russian bots. These aren't real people. So then Straka said, hey, I know this is like a big deal with your privacy, but I need you guys to do, you know, big video blogs or whatever, vlogs or whatever you call them, because nobody believes you guys are real. And then, be careful what you ask for, because that even made it more convincing,
Yeah.
because then people started doing all these videos on YouTube and Facebook and stuff, and these were like real people. And it was actually more convincing
Yeah.
than if they had just tweeted it, because they're actually, you can see they're real people, and they're talking like in a real common sense way, and they're like, hey, and they're all races, all religions, they're
Oh
all
yeah.
even all sexual preferences. I mean, and then people saying, hey, well, Brandon's he's a hairstylist, he's a gay hairstylist from Manhattan. So I mean, he's like, I'm leaving, I'm out of here. So I mean,
Yeah.
So everybody's like, well, gee, shit, he's leaving. Like, maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, that movement did catch fire, but it definitely could have caught a lot more fire if YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, if they had just taken their foot off the brake on it, because it was going through the roof.
Actually, I think YouTube is. I think YouTube. I mean, I could be wrong on this, but I think YouTube's eased up on the censorship a little bit. I mean, maybe not by much, but I've noticed that certain videos will get like 100. I don't know. I guess it's what, 1 million views is what they consider viral. But to me, if you got someone like 3, 4, 500,000 people who have seen the video, that's it's got to be a heck of a lot more than that. But it seems like YouTube's kind of eased up a little bit on it. At least from what I've seen. Because I mean, I still get my notifications from
Well, YouTube has always been the least worst out of all of them. I mean, they got pretty bad. There are a lot of good people that got kicked off for stupid reasons that I used to be on, whose side I used to be on. But I mean, they're better than Facebook. I mean, that's oh gee, they're better than Facebook. Okay, well, how hard is that? But they're better than Facebook, and that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hope they are planning on easing. I don't know. I think when we get close to 2020, everybody's going to be cracking down on all of us. I mean, I doubt, like, my videos, even though I'm sitting here with a "Make America Great Again" hat on and an American flag behind me, and you think like somebody who's like maybe wears a "Make America Great Again" hat and has an American flag behind them, you think that like my videos would show up in the recommended feed, and I guarantee you it doesn't. It's not just because I don't have 1 million subs. It's just because they're not going to put us together. The last thing they would do is want another person like me saying, "Hey, I want to listen to that guy," or me saying, "Hey, I want to listen to that guy." I mean, to find all of us, it's almost by accident. When you find we find like Axe, or we find Brandon, or I find when I first found like ABL, Anthony Brian Logan. I mean, I know these are just kind of like accidents, because I was kind of like searching around. But the old days you didn't have to do that. In the old days, things would pop up on your feed that if you typed in a lot of Republican sites, conservative sites, you got a lot of conservatives in your feed. But I'll get CBS News in my feed. I'll get CNN in my feed. I mean, as like near the top, and I'm like, no, I'm not into watching CNN or CBS News.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never clicked on I've never clicked on them once, but yet they show up on the top of my list sometimes, which is a real pain in the ass.
It's like when Derek Grayson was talking about Tucker Carlson, and this is kind of where I somewhat disagree with Derek Grayson on this. But again, he's very accurate in a lot of. I mean, he's very, very. He's like 80% spot on in a lot of what he says. But he was talking about how Fox News was no hero, yada yada. But yet you have Janine Pirro, who is a no Trump supporter, Sean Hannity, David Webb, who's also a Trump supporter. Well, he's conservative. I don't know if he's. Well, I guess he's a Trump supporter. I don't know. I don't really follow David Webb all that much. But I do know that he is conservative. And you do have like certain other hosts on Fox who are known Trump supporters, but yet he's he's like, well, there has to be the illusion of opposition to Trump, and which I understand that's a very accurate talking point, but I don't think that he is 100% accurate when he says Fox News is part of the I mean, it is mainstream media, but it's like a alternative mainstream media type, that echoes more the right talking points. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, Rupert Murdoch, I don't think he is a conservative, but well, he may be conservative on some issues. I think he's probably more conservative than Koch brothers, but he's probably one of those that could care less if open borders happens or not, because it doesn't affect him. Because of his.
Well, yeah. Plus, another thing I remember, like this guy's like a really old dude, and his sons are getting ready to take over, and who knows how his sons were educated, what universities they went to, and who their professors were, who taught them, and are they like social justice warrior types? And they were trying to do that deal in Europe too, so they were kind of leaning to the left a little bit on some stuff. But I mean, as a business model, right now you got, you know, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and Laura Ingraham, and then Shannon Bream. I mean, that's a pretty unbeatable. I mean, they do better in their numbers than who they go against every night. They just do. So I mean, as a business model, you'd be stupid to get rid of them and to put somebody in like leftist or liberal or something like that. I mean, they have the liberal people on like, you know, Shepard Smith, and there's one other guy, Neil Cavuto. I mean, he's a big never Trumper. I mean, Trump slips on a bottle of water on the floor. You know, Trump falling over himself. Look at Trump, he's terrible. Oh my God! It's like, hey, you know, give the guy some slack. But the littlest thing Trump does wrong, he jumps all over it, and he's hard pressed to give Trump a compliment. Yeah, that's Neil Cavuto. I mean, he's like that the whole time.
These journalists, especially these liberal journalists. Like, I mean, I think ABC is a little bit more, I mean, I don't watch ABC, but I would say that they're a little, you know, because they're kind of breaking narrative with the rank a little bit, if you notice that. They're not really giving Trump credit, but they're not really reporting on, you know, it's like they're trying to stay away from bashing Trump. It kind of tells you some of the things that go on behind the scenes. Like, here's another example with social media, right? If you notice when Alex Jones got banned from YouTube, what is it, the Apple Play Store? But his stuff is still on. You know, it's in the Google Play Store. You know, and if you notice, look at what Jack Dorsey did, right? And a lot of people don't recognize this and notice this. Jack Dorsey, he's not an idiot. I mean, the guy is a liberal, but he's not a moron like Zuckerberg is. At least that's my, you know. I mean, obviously Zuckerberg's a smart guy, but these people are completely clueless when it comes to dealing with people, interacting with people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what these people don't understand. But anyway, what I was saying about Jack Dorsey was he did not just ban Alex Jones off of Twitter, you know, which tells me he didn't want to get in the middle of that controversy. And it was a similar thing to, and again, this is just the actions of these globalists and these New World Order people, right? You know, it's like Jack Dorsey didn't want to get dragged into it. It's just like when the left was trying to stop these banks from lending money to these companies that make guns. Wachovia said, look, this is not our place. This is a place to, I think it was Wachovia. I believe it was Wachovia. But do correct me if I'm wrong, Carl. You know, because, you know, like I said, I was reading, you know, I read this stuff. I try to keep it fresh in my mind when I read it. But,
no,
Wachovia was like.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, you know, but Wachovia was saying, look, this is not up to us to do this. This is up to Congress to legislate, you know, what they feel should be and what not should be, you know, sensible gun laws, you know, and then we're going to continue to do business like they do, which tells me they didn't want any part of that controversy, you know. And it's the same thing with Jack Dorsey and Alex Jones. You know, I mean, eventually Alex Jones did get banned from Twitter, but he didn't do it right when YouTube and all these others kind of coordinated to ban him, you know, from the internet. But it only quadrupled Alex Jones's base when they did that, you know.
Right.
You know, what were we going to say, Carl? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was just listening. I was just typing a message real quick at the same time. I was multitasking, typing a message to Amy right now at the same time. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But see, a lot of people. See, that's the thing, especially with some of the right too, because it's like people. I mean, there are people on the right, and I know I've said this before, but it all goes back to people not listening to the talking points. Like, people were like when Brett Kavanaugh sided with the liberal judges with what was it, Planned Parenthood. I caught bits and pieces of the story, but I didn't read the whole thing. You know, when people again, people don't listen. When Kavanaugh said that Wade versus Roe was settled law, that to me told me, when he said that, that told me that he was not going to even touch that. So people are like, well, Kavanaugh betrayed us, yada, yada. No, you don't. People don't listen. People don't pay attention to the talking points and the interviews of these people who get nominated, you know, in certain positions. And it makes you want to pound your head against the wall. It's like, you've got to pay attention to when people are talking and listen to what they say, you know? I mean, Kavanaugh, like, let's say, I have with the State of the Union, I think Trump's going to possibly declare a national emergency to get this wall built. And there are things in place that he can do to get barriers like fencing put up. There were, what is it, 520 something of the article, and I think that's what he's probably going to do. I mean, to me, at this point, it's better than not having some kind of physical barrier.
Right.
I mean, and people are saying, some of these pundits are saying, well, if Trump doesn't get the wall, he's not going to win re-election. Okay, well, who are you going to vote for? You're going to vote for Kamala Harris or Beto O'Rourke, who I think is going to run against Trump in 2020.
Right.
So what are you going to do? You're going to vote for them? No, I don't think people, people say that out of anger, but I guarantee you, and I'm almost willing to bet Trump does win re-election, because a lot of these governors like DeSantis, I think he ended, what is it, core, some kind of a thing that it was like core something, but I don't know exactly what that was about. But a lot of these governors that Trump backed are probably going to see to it that their voter rolls are cleaned up, ahead of 2020 to make sure that, this is a fair election. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because looking at how many of the candidates that Trump backed won their nominations, that's big. 40 some. Douglas Ducote was saying 42 or 40. That's big. That's more than half.
No, if he went out there, I mean, except for the one guy up in Montana, but he didn't really go out in Montana big time. I think they missed that one. I think there wasn't a lot of polling data from Montana to begin with, but I think if they knew it was closer, it was as close as it turned out to be. I mean, he did one event up there. I think if he had done 3 events through that state, I think Montana would have gone. What's his face would have lost that a-hole who went against the Veterans Administration. I think he could have won that one. For sure.
And the other interesting thing too, like, and I remember listening to Nunya talk last time, and sometimes when people, it's cool if Nunya hears me now too. Sometimes you can be book smart, but having the wisdom to see things and to understand things and to know what is and what isn't, sometimes that's more valuable than being book smart.
Right.
I mean, book smart. All book smart tells me is that somebody's smart. They know how to make money. They know how to put together an idea. Okay, well, that's cool. Now, how are you with dealing with people? Do you know how to talk to people? Do you know how to voice, especially if you're giving like talking points?
Right.
You don't necessarily have to. I know this is coming from a douchebag, I know, but when people like when I'm talking to people, especially about politics, I don't word things to where it's like a hardcore truth. I don't have to talk like that to get a point across.
Right.
I mean, I even listen to them. I'll hear what they have to say. And I'm not going to say that they're wrong. I mean, because that's not how you win it. You're not trying to conquer. You're trying to educate people, and you might even say something that might even make them curious to look at what you're talking about.
Right.
I mean, I know progressives who say they're not backing anybody who's backed by George Soros, and I know that's like that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of progressives did not vote for Gillum, because he's taking money from special interests. Now that's one of the few things that I do agree with some of these progressives, that money needs to stay out of politics. It'll never happen, but it would be nice if money did stay out of politics. But then who's going to campaign? So that it serves a purpose, but it's kind of one of those necessary evils. Like banks are, banks are evil, but they're a necessary evil. You know what I mean? Because without banks, we wouldn't have credit. Obviously, everybody knows this stuff.
Right.
But
no, I
but
mean,
mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know how you get money out of politics where it's fair. I don't know how you do that.
No, there's no way.
I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not possible. I mean, when you have people who are pushing bills, you know, basically, like certain people, like what is it? God, who was it? Like when I was talking about Kenneth Griffith, he backed DeSantis. Well, DeSantis is probably going to owe him a favor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, they probably, stuff like that doesn't really get reported on, but maybe Kenneth Griffith wants to, I don't really know what the guy does. I know he's a billionaire that, has backed, I think he's kind of for limited government from what I've read about him,
Yeah.
But, like I was saying in our last call, any billionaires who back Trump or back candidates who are pro-Trump are not part of the globalist New World Order billionaire that wants to see us become a third world country,
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
I mean, it's like, and here's something else too. I'm sorry, I'm not. Am I going beyond my time? I'm sorry.
Well, no, you just kind of.
I'm not going.
No, you're good. You're just kind of jumping all over the place. I'm trying to keep up with you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Carl. I'm sorry. I do apologize. I'm sorry. It's just I'm a little hyped up for the State of the Union, but and I'm sure you've heard of the Bilderberg Group. A lot of people don't know who they are, but but what's interesting is that what if in the Bilderberg Group there's different factions, right? Like there's one faction that favors capitalism versus the other faction that wants to have socialism and New World Order type government. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that faction is trying to, let's say that faction is trying to, fight the other faction that want capitalism. Their tactics are to flood wealthy European countries and Western civilization with people from third world countries. And let's say the faction that favors capitalism is boosting the nationalist patriotic base of these countries that's their way of basically pushing back, like if you look at Brexit, right? Mercer had a huge role he had a role, I don't know how big, but he had a role in helping Nigel Farage gather data to help him, I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry, Carl. I don't really have the background to,
No, that's okay.
But like data, harvesting data, to give to Nigel Farage, like Cambridge Analytical, they harvested all that data from Facebook, but, if you actually look at that, some of that actually, people were like, look at, they look at like certain talking points and, how people feel and, they kind of look at people's emotions through their sentence structures and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, and it kind of creates that, populist base where, they're bolstering the, getting people aware of what's going on, getting information, this is what's happening. This is, what could be, you know what I'm saying? And if people don't understand, this whole thing it's an information war. That's what it is.
I tell you
it's
what,
a culture war.
I tell you what, let me let you go for right now, and because I know. Amy,
yes.
I know Amy wanted to get a call in to talk about what's going on.
Definitely.
And then we got State of the Union here about 15 minutes.
Are you doing a show after the State of the Union?
Axis doing one, so I'll probably be on Axis show.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right. I will see you, and I'll see you back in the chat room, all right?
All right, man. Take care.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah, Amy, if you want to go in and call in, and you want to tell us something about Tucson, I'm sure everybody wants to hear what's going on down there. Let's see, where are you? Where were you? I saw you in here. I said that. Yeah, you were talking about something going on in Tucson, New Mexico, I believe you wanted to tell us something about. Oh, that's probably you right there. Yeah, you're on with Carl. Go ahead. Oh, hey, Amy, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Here, let me get your, I'm going to write your number down so I could put you in my contacts list. So, yeah, go ahead, though. Yeah, tell us what was going on in Tucson.
Okay. So, hold on. Let me turn down my computer. So, with those diseases, coming up. My husband, I talked to him today, and he said they're throwing up, they've got fevers, they've got respiratory issues, the same stuff that I don't know where I read it earlier, but someone said they were dealing with the plague or a plague of some kind.
A plague? A plague?
Yeah,
Or like a
something.
real plague?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, we
Jesus.
know they don't immunize. And I have a lot of conspiracy theories. I saw those people wind up getting shots from the UN, and we know there's biological, warfare that they can inject in us.
Well, yeah, but I mean, is there some kind of like an outbreak going on right now along the border, or I mean, I haven't heard anything about that. So I mean, is there something going on right now with like a major kind of outbreak or something?
Arizona is having a measles outbreak.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so this happened 3 years ago. And in fact, my friend had a brand new baby, and she could not take that baby out of the house for like 2 months. And when her husband came home from work, he had to strip down and shower and all that kind of stuff before he could even touch the baby.
Wow, because yeah, measles. I mean, that causes all kinds of problems. Trying to remember, like,
hmm
doesn't it cause like sterility and stuff like that as well? Measles or brain damage? I can't remember now.
I don't know that much about measles. I know it's pretty serious once you get it. And, I'm in my 40s, and I don't know if my immunizations are still good. And in fact, I have an autoimmune problem. I have Lyme disease, so I barely leave my house because I'm paranoid that I'm going to get sick. I'm like on the road to recovery, and I can't risk going out in public and getting the flu or whatever else they're bringing across.
Oh wow! Oh, you got Lyme disease? Were you out like in the woods or something, and you got a tick bite or something, or what?
Oh yeah, I actually got it in 1990, and it was reactivated by the flu shot that I got in 2009 when they had that H1N1.
Right. So, so,
So
so,
yeah,
so
I've had it.
you had it for quite some time now. So, I mean, so this outbreak of measles you were talking about, are there any other kind of like illnesses that are like breaking out down there, or anything else you know about?
I'm sure there are, but the CDC is being real shady about it. But people talk. I get on these boards where people are doing live chats, and they're like, "There's all these kids that are sick in the school," and the CDC, I think, just came out recently saying that there was a problem with measles, but I knew about it a month ago.
Wow. Well,
So,
yeah,
I mean, you can't have a population that's not immunized coming into a population where we have been immunized, but, there's little children and there's things that we don't have here that they have there, like the chagas is another one.
what's that?
I'm trying to think. I think that's an insect-borne illness that's contagious. I think. I need to do a little bit more research on it, but it's not good. I mean,
Well, no, it doesn't sound good at all.
go ahead.
No, it doesn't sound good at all. I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, if there's there's something coming across that border, I mean, again, yeah, most of us, I'm in my early 50s. I mean, all those vaccines when, God, 40, 45, 50 years ago. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and
I
I
don't
don't know that they've done any studies.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a different strain of measles that my immunization doesn't work against.
hmm
And at my age, I
hmm
get measles or chickenpox or something. That's like really bad. A lot of bad things can
Yeah,
happen to you.
yeah, yeah. A lot of in that first caravan that came over, there was an incredible amount of kids that had chickenpox and adults,
Yeah, see,
like half of them.
oh God, that's like crazy. I mean, like half. I mean, that's like insane. But you were talking about like the other I
hmm
think in the chat room you were mentioning about there are a bunch of people at the border of Texas right now, like 1,500 people or something like that, or what's going on?
1,800 people in 51 buses.
Wow, so they
And
got
there were,
bus transportation up to the border?
yeah, they bust them up there.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And they're just waiting. There's no fence there in Eagle Pass, so they're just waiting. I think the border is the river, the Rio Grande River.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just waiting to go ahead and cross. But I don't know how many agents are down there. I think the military. I think Trump sent the military down there.
Did he send him? Did he send him specifically to Texas? Is that where? Because I know he sent another like
I
6,700. I just don't know. They said he sent another 6,700, which were like already like 3,000 National Guard and like another 2,000 deployed already. And so was he sending him down to Texas to meet up with the, to buttress against that caravan in Texas?
I think so. I think so. I just was looking at some stuff before you got on, and I should have done a little bit more research because I don't want to put out false information. But it's still a bad situation that the news is not reporting. They're still dismissing it. Even Fox really didn't do a great job. I saw that they were down there, but I don't think they really interviewed enough people. They didn't pan out enough. They didn't show the chaos. That's a lot of people. And those were only the ones on the buses. I don't know how many other people got there before them because everyone knows that there's no border there.
Right.
Or no barrier.
No, there isn't.
So so the initial group went to California because they're a sanctuary state. They knew they were going to get free stuff.
Right.
And then I guess they figured out Tijuana didn't want them there because the mayor was like, "We don't want you." And then the mayor got what is it called when the judge tells you can't talk?
Like a gag order or something?
Yeah. There was a federal judge in Mexico that put a gag order on the mayor, so he couldn't say anything about the illegals there.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's
I
not good.
think that had to do with the UN. That had to do with the UN compact that the former president had signed.
Okay. So wait. So you're telling me the president of Mexico put a gag order on the mayor of Tijuana? Mayor of what? Mayor of.
It was a federal judge in Mexico that put a gag order on the mayor of Tijuana.
Oh, because he kept talking bad about the migrants coming across.
Yeah, because they're destroying their city.
Right. Yeah, and he's like, he was tired of it, and so they actually put a gag order on him. That's pretty crazy.
Mhm.
That's pretty crazy indeed.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so the mayor of Trump was wearing a MAGA hat and make Mexico great again and all this kind of stuff. And the Tijuanans are supportive of that because they don't want them there.
Right. Well, Jesus.
But the new president, I'm not sure about him. I know he's heavily involved with the cartels, even though it's not reported. They all are.
Right.
They all are.
Well, somebody wrote in there. They said they wish that we could somehow watch the State of the Union together, and I think I just found a way to do it. So let me see if I can. While we're talking, let me see if I can get this in here. Let me see if I gotta close off some other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna close off some other stuff here. Hold on.
So yeah, the other day when I was talking, I said, there are cultural differences when these people come and they get involved with CPS. One of the big problems that I think is of a concern, the age of consent in Mexico is 12. So you have these people coming up, that's why the girls are pregnant young. I mean, my husband went to school on the border in Texas, and he said by the time he graduated, all the girls in his class had babies.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and here is the same. Like, you see these little girls that have babies or they're pregnant. But the other thing is, the familiar situations are different. So they have like the aunts and uncles that are friends that come in and then they end up having sex with these girls. It's a different culture that I don't understand.
No, that's a different culture that none of us understand. No, trust me. You don't have to say like, oh, we're all kind of like culturally whatever. For that. Let's see here. Let's see.
So you have a 16-year-old that's coming up from South America, or whatever. He's been having sex since he was 12, and he gets here and he's accustomed to doing that. And I think that's where the rapes come in. They don't stop raping when they cross the border and adapt to our laws.
No, they don't. They don't. No, I mean no, no. In other words, if you're a rapist in one country, just because you move to another country where people aren't necessarily raping everybody, you don't say, "Oh, maybe I should just stop raping people." No, if you're raping somebody, you're either I don't like giving people the excuse like saying they're crazy. I don't like giving them that excuse. I think you're just evil, and if you're just an evil person, just because you cross a border, I don't think you suddenly become not evil anymore. I think, and especially,
Yeah, or
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I
No,
no, if they're rapists in one country, they're going to be rapists in another country. I mean, that's for sure.
yeah, and then it's also a culture of machismo, so it's very patriarchal and the macho. So I'm not sure how to even explain that, but they they just treat women differently.
Right. So no. I mean,
But my son had a friend who was, gosh, when did I meet this kid? He was like 12 or 13, and he had a mustache like you did, or like
oh,
you do. 12 or
okay.
13 years old. We always used to tell him he could sell a popsicle to an Eskimo with that mustache because he looked like he was 40 and he was 14 or something.
Right.
I mean, they mature a little bit faster.
Yeah. Right. No, but I mean, well, if you're kind of like if you got a lot of testosterone and you're highly sexualized, you will definitely will mature a lot faster. And if you have a lot of testosterone, you grow a lot of facial hair, body hair, that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. So if you got like a 12 or 13-year-old kid growing a lot of facial hair, then yeah, that kid's got a super high testosterone level. That's probably somebody you need to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
tell you what, I think I did pull it up, so I'm gonna click it over and see
Oh,
if
good.
it works. So let me close out of this, and let's see. I'm gonna close this. I don't think I have to close this window. I think I'm okay. Let me take a look at see how I'm streaming. Always gotta be careful because my internet stream is like sucks in where I live. It's like, and trust me, there's like this is the best you can get anywhere, and it still sucks. So I mean,
Oh.
I pay the highest price. I pay the highest price for internet in the county, and it's nothing close. Like Axel saying he uploads at 91 megabyte speed, and I'm like, I hate you. 91. God, I'd be
Yeah.
I'd be on fire. But let me see if
My interstate go or my internet goes out at least twice a day.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're kind of in the same boat I am. Now, okay, so
Yeah.
to let everybody know, and anyway, I'll let you go. But anyway, thanks for the phone call, Amy, and I'll definitely put you into the contacts when I see your number punch up. I know it's you. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Carl.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right, guys. Now I'm going to bring the State of the Union in, and there it is, right there, the White House YouTube channel or somebody's channel. I guess it's off. This must be off YouTube because I clicked on it off of Google. Let's see. Let's see what it says. Yeah, this is the White House official site. They had it on my Google search. Now I'm going to plug this volume thing in, and every once in a while I get this auto renderer error. So if I lose everybody, that's what happened. So, but anyway, I'm gonna plug this in. If I lose everybody, that's what happened. The video went out because I'm plugging this one video feed in so we can listen to the video off the State of the Union. So don't anybody get mad. So anyway, here it goes. All right, so that's the State of the Union. Let me see if I got the volume up on it. All right, so hopefully that'll work. Well, hopefully we'll get the State of the Union in here. And there's me. I promise when the president comes on, I will take my little picture off of there. And he should be coming on in the next minute or so. And so hopefully we'll get to see him, and that'll be like really cool. And then hopefully the volume works. We get to hear him. So, but stream shows it's going really good, and the State of the Union right there. And let's see, the president. I wonder if I can make that a little bit bigger. Let's see here. Okay, let me cut across real quick. And I don't think I need to play with that any. I'd rather not if I don't have to. Yeah, I think it should be okay. But, yeah, let me just cut across again. There we go. So it should be starting like right about now. It says State of the Union 2019. This is off the White House official site. So I don't know if he's starting up or what he's doing, but this is the official site for the State of the Union for 2019. So it's exactly 6 o'clock straight up. So I'm going to leave this on for a sec. And I got the volume turned up. Let me double check. So hopefully when he comes on, then hopefully we'll get some sound, and hopefully it'll work. So we'll see. We'll find out. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully it works. Hey! So let's see if we get ready to come on here. And a little delay from me to you so I can see it in the control room. I am currently in the control room of Carl's Opinion Central with my windows open here. And the control room is showing 5 by 5, all good. And so when it comes on, I'll have to listen to see if I can actually hear what they're saying on there. Again, if I lose everybody, then sorry. But hey, I don't think I am. So. And YouTube is saying that we have a good stream, so that's positive. So I guess we got a little bit of delay here for the president coming on. President's State of the Union address. It looks like he hasn't come on yet because everybody's still waiting, looks like. Yep, everybody's still waiting. Nobody's seeing him come on yet. So hopefully. Yay, President Trump. Trump, Trump, Trump. Hey, I tell you what, I'll play a little music in the meantime. And when it pops up, I'll turn the music off. So let's find some music here. And make sure I don't have it up too loud for you guys. Hold on. You know.